I just recorded myself and I realized that I didn't even have the audio set up. So I just went on a whole rant and it didn't catch anything. Like I was sitting here like, yo, son, I was going for like a good 5-10 minutes and I looked to realize that I wasn't even recording what I was saying. But let me just like, let's condense this real quick. So what I was talking about was that it's hard to be a heterosexual man because of the things that we like. And a lot of men won't admit some things because they're scared of what society will say about them. I notice for a fact because I've done it myself, where it's just like if someone says something is disgusting, you immediately say, oh yeah, that is disgusting, even though you don't think it's disgusting. Just because another person says it, you're going to say it yourself. Now, May is kind of like, she's really big on this, where it's like the reason why a lot of people don't like her is because she's unapologetically herself. And I'm starting to move towards that, where it's just like, if I find something interesting or I think that, it interests me in a way, I'm going to say that it does interest me. And I'm going to see who stays and who goes. Because I've been in a situation where it's like, I've had a lot of friends, and because something went wrong, something that was out of my control, it went wrong, they disappeared. So I was saying that it was hard to be a heterosexual man because of sexual attractiveness to a certain demographic of people. And then I referenced Drake's song where he said, I forgot the exact name of the song, but he was like, I even fucked a girl that I used to babysit, but that was years later on some crazy shit. And I was like, yeah, you see how everybody applauds him. They're like, that was a great verse. Nobody says anything about it. Older girl that used to babysit him has sex with him. Now imagine if the lyrics were changed around. I even fucked a girl I used to babysit. Imagine if it was said like that. Now you'll have an uproar from the female community saying that this guy's a pedophile and that this guy is disgusting. And instead of an empowering message, it now becomes a message of pedophilia. And I've been talking about this a lot. I understand, the viewpoints of people where it's like, did you ever babysit a girl? It's like, yes, I babysat a girl. My mom was saying that before she left, and I was sitting there like, that's crazy because I barely remember babysitting Sarah. Sarah is the one that we're talking about. And now, just because I've babysat her, I can't find her attractive. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of this in society where the male is told no a lot of times because they're like, you're disgusting, you have no discipline, you think that certain things are beautiful. It's like going to a museum and seeing an art piece and thinking that art piece is interesting, and then everybody else in the room, they're like, no, that's not interesting, that was made by a 16-year-old girl, you shouldn't like that art piece. And you're just like, but what if I didn't even know the artist was 16 years old? What if I just like that? And they're going to be like, no, you're disgusting. And it's like, what? And they're going to be like, you should have checked the age of the girl that made the art piece, you should have looked for the background of the art piece before you said you liked it. But it's like, bro, what's the point of checking the background? If you like it, you like it. Now, I understand a society where it's like, you have to check the background because you might get in trouble, like you might get in real big trouble for doing that. But then I want to point out how there's a bunch of drug dealers, and most of these drug dealers are probably male. And they're the ones that are providing for the society. And they're doing silent wars against society to win over something that needs to be won over. Like recreational weed needs to be given to the world and not hidden from them. So everybody is going to be happy and be like, oh yeah, we got recreational weed. We can go to dispensaries now. They use that, and then they forget about how all those people that have been incarcerated has been fighting for it for their whole lives. Like, as a ex drug dealer, I did not choose to be a drug dealer. I would say that it chose me. You know what I mean? Like, it was a mutual thing, and it wasn't something that I can sit there and be like, yeah, I wanted to be a drug dealer since I was 5 years old. Like, no, bro. I wanted to be probably a nurse or a doctor when I started getting old enough to pick something. Because when I was younger, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. Like, it was never a thought process. It was just like, I hate every day. You know what I mean? Like, I hate this next day that's coming up. But um, when I got old enough to pick where I needed to go, so this was in high school, that's when I really started putting some thought behind it. And I was just like, all right, you know what? Maybe I should be a nurse. You know, nurses make enough money. Maybe I could do everything that I want to as a nurse and still go ahead and have a life that I want. It pays enough money. The hours are not that crazy. I could definitely do it. You know, I see other people do it. It looks easy. So I'm sitting there just picking a job just out of comfortability and just like, money. I was like, you know what, it makes enough money. I could do this. But, it's just like people saying that why would you choose that job? It's not for you. And, the universe kind of made its way where it's like, no, you won't be able to do that job because you're not good at science. And because you're not good at science, you're going to need to be able to do, something else that you're more comfortable with. And then I started drug dealing. So it wasn't a choice. It was just something that I was very comfortable with. And that's why I see, like, with pedophiles, especially, like, if they're comfortable with it, it's not really their choice. They didn't come out into the world. They didn't turn 5 years old and be like, yo, I want a little child. I like little children. I don't think so. I don't think that that's how it works. Now, this is going to be a very controversial topic because a lot of people will say that pedophiles are just sick. May would say that pedophiles are just sick. I'm not saying that I'm a pedophile. I'm just saying that if I find something attractive, I don't think I should be penalized for thinking that it's attractive no matter what age it is. But I don't even find, like, girls that are under 12 that look good or anything like that. And you will find some girls that look very mature for their age. Look very mature for their age, and you would be confused. You would be like, well, I thought she was at least 16, you know what I mean? Like, but you see people like Leonardo DiCaprio, and you see people like the Playboy Mansion, that guy. He's going for younger girls. He goes for girls that are like 21 years old, and this guy's like 79 years old. And he's just skimming the law by saying, like, oh, she's 18 at least, uh, I can still, she is of age. Do I think that those people are disgusting? Like, we have to specify that disgusting, like a specific thing. No, I don't think so, because it's a human on human. Humans like humans, no matter what age they are. It would be like saying that parents are disgusting for having children because they want to control something that they shouldn't be in control of. I would look at it like that. I would be like, if you want to be a parent, you're disgusting because you want to control somebody. You want to control this younger person as much as possible. And they're like, no, that's not controlling. That's called raising. And it's just different words that you throw out in there just to justify your idea of perfection. But I've been thinking about this for, I don't know, it's just annoying me. I think it's really dumb. Like, I know May says that a lot of people, rapists and pedophiles, they get away with a lot because what they're seen as, it's seen as a mental illness if you are a pedophile, so you don't get that much time in jail. Like, the sentence is like astronomically low than a murderer, than a drug dealer. But like, I understand that it's not fair because I see drug dealers, and because I'm an ex-drug dealer, I see them as respectable people of society. I see them as revolutionaries. There are some that are bad, but there are a lot that are good. Like, they're selling to the best of their ability. They're not selling like, for me, I found the best possible weed that I can find, and then I was backing my product. I was like, yo, this is great product. Like, the only reason why I'm selling this is because I believe in it. You know what I mean? But there are some people that are the cookers that are mixing in pesticides with their weed and stuff like that. But not everybody's bad. Like, there's pedophiles out there, but they don't go for children. You know what I mean? They're not aiming for them. If it was in their vicinity and they like pushed up on them, they would be like, all right, I gave in. I gave in. That's why we have to be more open with each other. We have to be more open with each other. And for everybody to be like, you're disgusting, we don't want you in this society, it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't push us where we need to go. That's really what I'm trying to say. You just dismissing a person for being a person is just, it's like you think that you're higher than them. Nobody's higher than anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, we're all at the same stage. There are more intelligent people than others. You know what I mean? Like, I would say that I'm not even gonna get into that, but yeah, for you to be like they're discussing and you want to dismiss them, I think that that's absolutely crazy. But nobody goes headhunting, and there are a lot of girls out there that go headhunting. It's not like that. A pedophile does the same thing as a woman does. The woman aims for an older person or a younger person. Women have more choices and they can choose whoever they want. But women typically, when they're on top, they typically choose people that are the same age as them or that's older. You know what I mean? So they have options. They headhunt for that older person. But then you're talking about a pedophile. A pedophile headhunts for little children. Like, they go to parks and shit, and they're like, I think they're beautiful, and I want to see them, and I want to have sex with them. It's like, okay, that's a little that sucks. I would say that sucks. You think that that's the only thing that you can feel attracted to, and you can, But Apothecary Diaries talks about this, and I think they touched upon it very beautifully. Like, they explained it very beautifully. And all those girls that are like, I'm the victim, I'm the victim, I'm the victim, I think we need to, I think that's society's problem. I don't think that that's their problem. I don't think that that's a problem between the two of them, because society hides a lot of information. They hide a lot. Like, for example, Area 51. Are you kidding me? You know how many people are like, what is Area 51? And they never went on TV and was just like, Area 51 is, we search up extraterrestrials and we haven't found anything yet. Okay. Well, why is that so hard to say? But we love our secrets. We love our secrets, and it becomes bullshit.